Hello all, welcome back to the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav story series. Today is the first day and I'm going to talk to you about an interesting person. But before I get into that, I just want to ask you one simple question. Do you know by any chance who is the person whose photograph is still displayed in the main hall of the Royal Palace of London? By, by any chance, do you guys know about that person? Who that person is? Why is that person so famous that even till today, the royal family of England had decided to display their that person's photograph in their main hall? Okay, that is none other than Srimati Dokka Sitamma garu, who is from Andhra Pradesh. So come on, come with me. Let us dive into her story. Her story goes like this. Uh, she believed in the golden words which we shared yesterday, right? Do you remember them? It's Vasudeva Kutumbam, which has been told multiple times in the ancient scriptures of India, and and India still today stands proud and tall to depict these words, isn't it? Along with this golden words of Vasudeva Kutumbam, Dokka Sitamma also believes in one more, trait, which is called the basic need of human beings. What is the basic need of human beings? Any idea, guys? Yeah, it's hunger. Hunger is same in everybody. Be it be a man or a woman, child, animal, everybody gets suffers from hunger in the same way. Whether you are rich, poor, which caste, which religion, it doesn't matter, isn't it? That is the reason why Dokka Seethamma identified this basic need of human beings as the most important trait which everybody should work towards addressing it. In fact, she started addressing this basic need of hunger in poor and needy persons at the tender age of 6 years. You don't believe me? Yeah, I'll tell you. At around 6 years of age, Dokka Sitamma lost her mother and she used to live in a very small, tiny village in Andhra Pradesh on the banks of river Godavari. You all know about Godavari, right? It's the third largest river in India. Okay, and her father used to always feed the pilgrims who used to come to a famous pilgrimage town near to her house. And in those days, there are no hotels, there are no trains or cars using which the pilgrims can go from one place to the other, the temple town very easily, right? They all used to go by walk or bullock carts or palkins, depending on the economic status. And that is the reason why there will be so many child trees, which we call satrams in those days, where people used to feed this kind of travelers, the needy people, the poor people. But again, considering how conservative the society is, that is in around 1850s and till 1900s, all these charities used to cater only to certain sector of people, like based on their caste or creed or religion or whatever it may be. But Dokka Sitamma felt the need that since hunger is same in everybody, we need to address this hunger in the very same manner, irrespective of their caste, creed, and everything. So she started serving food to whoever person who comes to their house, including the patients, different low caste people, poor people, untouchables, whatever it may be. So during that time, I can tell you one more interesting story. Once, what happened on a very stormy night during one of those monsoon days, there was a big cyclone that was rampaging all over Andhra. There were heavy rains, water, Godavari is on floods, everything. At that point of time, one person started going via their village, Dokka Sitamma village, to some other place. Okay. And he suddenly got caught in the flash floods. You all know what flash floods is, right? Somewhere upside in the hills, when the river flows down from the hills to the sea, right? Somewhere up on the upper side of the hills, when it rains heavily, the floods come all of a sudden without any warning. So he got caught in the flash floods. So he immediately what he did, he climbed up the nearby tree and sat in a safe at a higher branch in a safe place. He was shivering because of the continuous rain. And slowly it was almost around midnight and he started feeling very hungry, tired, thirsty, he's shivering. And suddenly he remembered, yeah, I think we are somewhere near, closer to this Dokka Sitamma village. So why? And everybody always praises her, saying like she's the best person who gives food to everybody who passes through that village, and she'll ensure that nobody goes without food to sleep on any given day. So let me call her. So he started yelling at the top of his voice. Oh, my dear mother, Dokka Sitamma garu, can you please feed me? I'm really hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm shivering. He started yelling. Imagine those days. I'm talking about 1850s, to 1880s, where there is no electricity, nothing. The entire village's stretch is totally pitch dark. On top of it, heavy rains. But Sitamma garu heard that voice. She immediately got up from the sleep and she cooked hot food, whatever is possible at that point of time, and then asked her husband to accompany her to go in search of this person who is yelling for her help. Her husband said, please, why should we go now in this middle of the night? We don't know. Godavari is on flood. There might be snakes, there might be something danger lurking behind this darkness. She said, if you don't come, I'm going to go because he yelled for my help. And if I have to survive and see tomorrow's morning sun without any guilt, I need to go and feed him. I need to go and give him food. See the dedication in her, isn't it? Then her husband said, okay, this lady is a very stubborn lady. Let me go and help her. So they both went, took a rowboat, went in search of that person, fed him, gave him bed sheets so that he can escape the chill and all the stuff, and then returned back home. This is just one example, my dear friends. There are innumerous stories. I'm from that generation where I'm lucky to have read about this noble soul in my textbooks. But nowadays, the textbooks have changed. There is no mention about her. Okay. Another interesting fact I want to tell you. She passed away in 1908 at the age of 68 years. So imagine from 6 years to 68 years. She was serving all the needy and poor people day in and day out. Morning breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, whatever it is. So now let us imagine after 2 years of lockdown, we were all eager to go out and have some fun, isn't it? But imagine this poor noble lady who never stepped out of her kitchen even for one single day. You know why? She felt if she locks her house and goes out of the house for some picnic or something, then somebody might come to her house in search of food and they might have to go empty handed. You don't believe me? This really happened, my dear friends. One day, after so many years, she felt that she has to visit the nearby pilgrimage center temple to worship the god. So she asked her husband's permission and she started going there. At that time, as I told you, people go depending on palkins, bullock carts, or by walk and all, right? So she went in a palkin. And the people who are carrying her palkin set the palkin down so that they can take a gulp of water as they were tired. And our Seethamma garu was sitting in the palanquin. And then she heard from a distance one child crying. She just was curious and started concentrating, bending her head towards that direction to listen why the child is crying. You know why? The child was crying because she is very hungry. She was asking for food. And guess what her parents told her? Don't worry, baby. We are approximately around half an hour from Dokka Sitamagaru's village. And once we go there, she will serve us a good meal, very good meal. And you will be very happy with that. So please be patient for half an hour. I will carry you. You don't have to walk and all that stuff. Her dad was telling that girl's daughter was telling the girl. Hearing this, what you would have done? And if you are in her situation, Dokka Sitamma asked the people who were carrying her palanquin to immediately turn back. She went home, cooked nice hot rice, dal, curry, sabji, and then a sweet, and fed a feast meal to all the people who had come later. And that girl was very happy. She played with Dokka Sitamma for some time and then slept off. Okay, so now I forgot to even tell you when she's giving food to all the people, she's not giving normal one chapati or one curd rice or one sambar rice. She was giving them full-fledged meal with because she's born and brought up in Andhra Pradesh where people you eat a lot of rice. She was giving rice, dal, curry, curd, then sambar or rasam or whatever it may be. Isn't it amazing? And she never expected even a single penny in return from anybody. Hearing her stories, lot of kings and royalties came forward and offer her money, villages, so that she can continue this noble job. All she said is, I'm serving God by feeding these poor souls, poor people, or the pilgrims, or whoever it is. So I cannot take even a single penny for the job which God has given to me. If I take money, then it is not called a service. So please don't give me any money. Isn't it amazing? She spent all her money. They were very rich. But because she's doing daily this Annadana, this penance, she spent all her money. She sold all her village properties. They sold all her jewelry. She spent all the money, everything. But still, she was surviving with whatever it is, and she did this Nityanadhanam for 62 years, believe me. And in her name and fame got spreaded like wildfire throughout India. King Edward VII was our ruling king, prince at that point of time from the British Empire. He was getting coronated in New Delhi, I mean, the older Delhi at that point of time. And the prince and princesses, that is, the would be king and queen, wanted to take the blessings of this noble lady, Dokka Sitamma. So they invited her to come to Delhi and take part in the royal ceremonies. They sent the vote to her through collector of Andhra Pradesh. You know what she did? She told Collector Babu, if I close the house even for one day, I'm doing a big injustice to the people who are coming to my house in search of food. So I can never do that. Please ask your king to excuse me for this time. And poor collector sent back the same message to the king, Edward VII. King told him, at least get me a photograph of her. If you get me the photograph of her, I will then be able to at least see that photograph and then I can take her blessings from her. And this is the old photograph clicked by the then collector after pleading her so much. and then cajoling her, saying if he doesn't agree for taking the photograph, the collector will lose his job. In which way he will not be able to feed his family. Listening to that, Dokka Sitamma had agreed for this photograph, and you can see the royal family had got it replicated in a nice oil painting, which is still being displayed in the Royal Palace of London main hall. And this is her husband Dokka Garu, who is there all who is there and had given her complete support in her Nityanadana Padakam. Only in 2000, our government officials whoever had visited the Royal Palace in London had seen this photograph and realized her importance. That is when they started supporting her cause, supporting her family, and propagating about her. Isn't it a shame, my dear friends, that we ourselves who take pride in our Indian culture and heritage have forgotten all about her? And we were reminded by the Britishers who had really understood what she's true worth all about. This is her statue installed in Rajamandri, the major town near to her village in Andhra Pradesh. Even now, we can see the ladle in her hand. She never, ever stepped away from her kitchen because she believed in hunger, satisfying the hunger in all the human beings. Central government, along with the state government of Andhra Pradesh, had released a special postal cover to commemorate her services and remember her in 2015 when they were doing the recent 200th anniversary of East Godavari Postal Society, Philatelic Society. Okay, so this is her story, my dear friends, and this is her house, which has been renovated with the help of government, along with her and kids. The younger generations. Today, I think fifth generation of her is still living in this society house and still continuing doing this Nityanadhanam for all the people who come and visit their house. And believe me, still the vessels used by her, the all the grinder stone, mortar stone, everything is still there. We all can go there and see and feel that vibes, understand how can a small, uneducated 6-year-old girl from a very remote village in Andhra Pradesh can go to such a state where the entire India, not only the India, Britishers started appreciating her hard work and dedication. So, what are the real lessons that you can learn from her? I think for me, honestly, I learned two lessons. Apart from Vasudeva Kutumbam, what she believed is Atidi Devo Bhava. The person who comes to your house should be treated as a god. Second, hunger. We need to satisfy hunger in everybody. Of course, we cannot do as much as what she has done at a larger scale. But tell me, we can also do it at a very small scale in our own house, right? We can ask the house, our own mom who keeps feeding her us every day and night, whether she ate her food on time, whether is there something left for her on the table, or are we finishing off everything? These are small, simple questions which hardly takes 1 or 2 minutes from us, isn't it? Then we can even also offer a cup of coffee or tea to the household helps who come to our house for their work. We can offer a glass of water or a juice to the delivery boys who come and give us our delivery packages, couriers, food parcels from Swiggy, Zomato. You know how hard these delivery boys are working day in and day out to get our things delivered from one place to other place, irrespective of rain, heat, anything. And they go only by two wheelers, not in the AC cars, my dear friends. So, or we can even just keep a small bowl of water for the birds to quench their thirst in the summer. For the stray animals, there's a lot more that we can do if we really think about how she's continued her journey in such a remote place, satisfying the hunger of so many people, isn't it? Do share me your learnings, what you're thinking, what you want to carry forward as her legacy into the future generations. So this is my first character legend in the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav story series. Stay tuned to meet another interesting character tomorrow. Till then, with lots of love, your Suhasini auntie. Bye bye. Have a good time, friends.